not hate to say that we were kidnapped and brought here. It's true. It's not hate to say that we were Jim Crow, discriminated and segregated.
Our problem has been, as black people, we've always been concerned about white America, never about us. And what we've always thought is that white America equal the same interest as us. That is not true. We must now be concerned.
I can't be a pessimist because I'm alive. To be a pessimist means that you have agreed that human life is an academic matter. So I'm forced to be an optimist. I'm forced to believe that we can survive whatever we must survive.
I might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary.
Tuned in to the End of the Bench media that's bold, black, and beautiful.
Thank you for tuning in. It's your man, Brian H. Rap B. Williams. Thank you. Welcome back, Rated Care. Back-to-back day. Inside joke. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is the End of the Bench Media. I am Brian H. Rap B. Williams. This is Build and Destroy, attempt to build up the community and destroy the lies and propaganda. And tonight's episode is definitely going to be a situation to whereas we can destroy the lies and propaganda. Good afternoon, good morning, good night, good everything. No matter where you are, no matter where you're tuning in, hit that like, hit that share, and going forward, you see across the bottom of the screen. If you're just listening, you're doing audio, it is about across the bottom of the screen. It's my website, www.thaendofdabench.com, thaendofdabench.com. It is being simulcasted there. It seems as if something going on with my YouTube page, and that's fine. That's why I have a long website. You can watch me over there. I get the same credit as the YouTube page. What we can do is just continue to build up the platform and put me in a situation. Hit that like, hit that share. And in the event that you want to continue to support the movement, the podcast, and anything else, you can always send your boy a couple pieces of change. You see it's on the screen, the End of the Bench, $ End of the Bench. It goes to the uplifting and the contribution of the production of the show. Thank you. It is important that you do that. It's always helpful in any way, shape, form, or fashion. As I said, tonight, I got two apologies. My number one supporter, I excluded her from a program last night, and I didn't mean to do that. It was just an impromptu situation, so I am apologizing to her. And last week, I did something that I asked you guys not to do all the time. I excoriated a member of the community on a lie. There was if you are familiar with this newspaper called The Onion, The Onion puts out satirical information, and it makes people laugh at ridiculous things. And they put out a statement that looked real. I didn't look into it. I reacted to it, and I excoriated a member of the community. I excluded him from the community, actually. And I want to apologize to one Eldridge Tiger Woods. I was very disrespectful, and I'm apologizing for it. I'm not perfect. And shout out to the person on Twitter who brought it to my attention. It is important. Thank you for watching, first and foremost. Thank you for engaging, and I really appreciate it because it means a lot. That's why I spend so much time on Twitter, because it is a community that is sharing accurate information, and they said they like what I was doing. Therefore, they didn't want me to be inaccurate, so I am apologizing to one Eldridge Tiger Wood for the mean-spirited and disrespectful things that I said. I apologize. Maybe it'll never get to Tiger Woods. Maybe it did. Maybe it won't. But at the end of the day, I'm wrong. I am not too big to say I'm wrong, and we're going to move forward. With that being said, we're going to talk about the truth. The truth is a very important thing when we're living in the world that we're living in. We have been beat down, oppressed, discriminated against, and all the other superlatives that put you in a position of negative or lack or anything that is negative that goes on in this world. And those things are permeated by lies. And when you don't tell, if you tell a portion of the truth, or you don't know the entire truth, you end up looking like a jackass like I did over the last 7 days, being disrespectful to Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods never said anything about me that I know of. And he has never come out publicly and said anything negative that I know of. So I ended up looking like a damn fool. And I don't want our community, to look like damn fools any further. Because if I can do something like that, that is human error. And that means all of us are capable of making that same mistake. And I don't want us to make those mistakes. We've made those mistakes, in my estimation, for 60 years. 60 years. So let's going forward. Let's make sure we're accurate. That makes make sure we're on point, and let's make sure we move us in one on the same accord. So, as I do every week, I give my parents thank you. I thank both my parents, Dolores and John. Without Dolores and John, there is no David. Without half Pollard, half Williams, that's one entire Brian Williams. My name is a reflection of my parents. For those who don't know, now that's neither here nor there. But what I want you to understand is this: we must stop participating in a self-fulfilled prophecy of negativity. When you talk to people about what could and what should and what can be, it's always someone who has been brainwashed into believing it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And they don't mean any harm by it. It's just a conditioning. What's not going to happen, what we should accept. We should accept lies from politicians. We should be women, I told, for ages, would just accept that that's a man being a man. Men, I told, women are deceptive. Those are propagandized tools to continue to broaden the gap between gender, age, and community. We can no longer participate in those things, people. Let's no longer participate in the lies and propaganda that continue to oppress us. I'm going to show you some videos later to show you the power that you have. I'm going to show you some videos later that shows you how our minds are just programmed to minimize offenses and prop up other things. We're no longer going to do that going forward. And I'm telling you, we need to allow ourselves to be God. This is why I always reference the past. Shout out to my homies, younger brother, Rated Kev, and April Showers. Thank y'all for being a part of the program. Hit that like, hit that share, tell a friend to tune in. Now, back to what I was saying. We must allow our past to be our guide. It is this thing called a Sankofa bird. I should have brought it up, and I may pull it up at some point. You know what? As I do this, I may work on pulling it up on the screen. The Sankofa bird is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is we must use our past to show us the future. Our past will show us the future, and that's how we'll take care of our children and then everything that's around our children. We must put ourselves in a position to win. Sankofa bird. There it is. Here it is. This is the Sankofa bird. I'm going to pull it up in a second. And we must use our past to predict our future. Your past is there to help you be the best you can be. And I'm doing this on the fly, so please excuse the sloppy. Please excuse the sloppy. But I want you to understand this is how we get past the foolishness that we are participating in. I guarantee you this is how we will do it. And all I want us to do is understand what we're dealing with. When we understand what we're dealing with, we can get past it. We get past it, we can uplift each other. We uplift each other. We can't be stopped. That's what I want you to understand. We can only be controlled. You see that bird on the right-hand side. Salute to my oldest sister, Theodora. Good to see you both. You see this bird. The bird is looking back with an egg in his mouth, and he's moving forward. This is a metaphor. You'll continue to move forward in life. Don't just look back, but you look back as a guide to get to the future. The egg in his mouth is representative of a child, the future. You move forward so you can raise your children. You look back to see what you have accomplished and the things that have stayed in your way, been in your way, so you won't have to run into those things again, and you will continue to take care of those situations. So with that being said, let me see what I'm saying. Why can we go ham on athletes and not legislators? I'm getting to that. And thank you, my man, Jungle Brother. Thank you. I'm getting into that a little bit, Jungle. Thank you for the participation. Keep it coming, though. Don't stop. Don't stop talking. For the people who are participating, if you have something to say, please do. I don't mind. It's a conversation. I got time. It's not a dissertation. It's a conversation. I continue to say those things. Now, what I want us to do is you look at that Sankofa bird and it's guiding you through the future. And that's what we must do. We must look at our past, understand, oh man, people don't never support each other. We don't do this and we don't do that. Where did you get that from? What are you basing that on? When you go to a black establishment, they don't know how to treat you. Most people who make those statements have never been mistreated in the black establishment, because most people don't even go into a black establishment. A lot of y'all don't even go. You just go, my friend said, and then you inculcate that into your life. You just weave that into your life, and now it's a fact. But based on what? Well, we ain't gonna support each other. Well, see, that sounds good, but we not gonna support each other. Based on what? What scientific evidence can you present to anybody who says that to say don't support this? Look, guess what? I did a little scientific experiment myself. It's a very small portion, but it's this place called Bricks. Been here on the west side of Chicago since the 70s. How's Bricks staying open? Didn't nobody come to the west side of Chicago. If you're unfamiliar with the west side of Chicago, if you are familiar with the rest of the world, we would be considered the Compton of Los Angeles, the Harlem of New York, the brick city of New Jersey, the west side of Atlanta, and so forth and so on. We are the bad part of town, right? So Brick's been open since the 80s, 70s and 80s. It's been in 2 different locations. It's the same man. It was a small joint. He moved across the street to a bigger joint. And guess what? Every Saturday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, Bricks is crowded. Afternoon, Bricks crowded. Breakfast, Bricks crowded. And this is just a little hole in the wall restaurant. If we don't support each other, how's Bricks still open? Another thing is two chicken restaurants in Chicago. They are staples in fast food Chicago. Harold's Chicken on the south side of Chicago, Uncle Remus Chicken. I just happen to know one of the grandsons of the man who started Uncle Remus. They have been in business since, again, the 70s. As long as I've been living, you can go get Uncle Remus Chicken or Harold's Chicken, to the point where Harold's Chicken has expanded outside of Chicago. How are those places still in existence? When people come back to Chicago, my cousin Mike, when he comes back to Chicago, he goes to staples in the community. I want to go here, I want to go there. How is it that these places are staying open if we don't know how to treat you, if we don't know how to serve you, if you don't get good customer service from every place we go? Because somebody said one thing, you accepted it as fact, and then you stay away. Are these places run flawlessly? No. I'm not even going to pretend that they are run flawlessly. No, they are not. But they've been in existence for 1,000 years. One of the biggest industries from coast to coast, border to border, is hair and nails. I personally have a former high school classmate who has had a nail shop since 1996. And they'll tell you, oh, the girls and they got attitudes. But you've seen video of other cultures beating your behinds out of these places. They beating black women with sticks, locking them in stores, violating them. When you lock the door and won't allow someone to leave, that is officially kidnapping. Yeah. If you don't agree with me, all you have to do is look up this case that got O.J. Simpson 13 years. You stop somebody from leaving, that's kidnapping, sir, ma'am. But we're not acting a fool with these people about how they treat us. These people, 1996, but you'll go to every other culture and get your nails done and your feet done, and the same thing is happening right in the midst of the west side of Chicago. There are a million other places that I didn't take time. I just used those 4 that have been around since the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. But you tell me we're not, our price is too high. Guess what? Why don't you put these people in a position to whereas they have to buy so much of their product that they're forced to cut you a discount, because if they don't cut you a discount, they stuck with it. How about this? If you go into a black establishment and they don't treat you properly, how about just ask them, hey, let me get your phone number. Get the phone number, call the manager, because the manager or the owner. Let them think you're going to give them a compliment. And then you report them to the manager or owner and let them know, I'm not coming back until X, Y, or Z. You don't have to be belligerent. You don't have to be condescending. You don't have to be any of those things. But guess what? If they've been in business since the 70s, if they've been in business since the 80s, if they've been in business since the 90s, they would appreciate you reaching out to them. But we don't do that. Oh, you can't do this and you can't do that. But it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because you walk in and then you get what is called confirmation bias. You have already walked in assuming the worst about an establishment owned by Black folks. And if anything goes wrong, you go, see, this is what I'm talking about. But if you go into something looking for negativity, you're definitely going to find it. And this is why I'm asking you guys to knock it off. Look, today I wrote this out. I came up with the concept of this episode under the pretense of I would give you a hypothetical. But guess what? Good old America, y'all gave me a police brutality situation over the weekend in Super Bowl for a football opener. I'm gonna talk about that. Why is it that we can say politicians are not going to do anything? See, every 4 years we get these fake fraud celebrities stepping up. Don't say anything for 3.5 years, and then for the last 6-month stretch, you're seeing them, and you're seeing them, and you're seeing them, and then you even seeing things like Tiger Woods, like that fooled me, made a damn fool of me. Tiger Woods talking about Black people. I should have known a lot, but you know what? Jeanette, I'm already been programmed to be anti-Tiger Woods, and Tiger Woods he said, as far as I know, he said one thing that I didn't like in his entire 30-year career. One thing, and I jumped on it. So I'm not only talking to you guys, I'm talking to myself. But this is what I'm talking about. We this party this and this party that. But guess what? At least, and it may sound asinine what I'm about to say, but at least they got the courtesy to sell your dream. The other people not even selling your dreams. And I am not any one of these groups. But what I do understand is this: when you gonna have there is a debate tonight. And as I'm gonna show you the video, I have a debate tonight. One of the people in the debate says police should have total immunity, meaning they can hit you across your head, they can shoot you, they can kill you, they can beat you, and nothing will happen to them. The other person, on the other hand, has created a anti-recidivism program, meaning when you go to jail, they're gonna make sure you don't return. Which one do you support? All you do is pile up information about whoever it is that's running for these offices. And then you approach their office, you approach their campaign managers, and you look at their websites to see if it fits you. If it fits you and they have a reputation of doing things, then at that point, you organize and then you come together, you mobilize your friends, cookout, Thanksgiving dinner, card game, and then you organize a way to get things done. You don't have to sign up with any party whatsoever. But what you have to do is stop believing the lies that they're not going to do anything for you. And these people aren't either. Nobody's going to do anything that you don't make them do. Again, back to the history. You think Dr. King, Lyndon Baines Johnson, former president of the United States, told the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., okay, I gave you the Voting Rights Act. Leave me alone. He said, okay, now pass the civil rights. Dr. King was an unrelenting revolutionary. You don't use the name revolutionary a lot with the great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but he was. The great revolutionary Malcolm X, the great revolutionary Fred Hampton, the Black Party Panther of Self-Defense, the Urban League, SNCC, the Rainbow Coalition, and so forth and so on. Some of these organizations are volunteer organizations, and you can go in and get and make sure they do what they're supposed to do. But we're too busy. We don't want to do it, and we've talked ourselves into believing they're not going to do anything. Well, if you get into these situations and they're not doing what you anticipate, it's nothing to organize your own situation. Everybody in the world knows at least 10 people. I mean, you may not like 10 people, you may not communicate regularly with 10 people, but you know 10 people and they know 10 people. And guess what? You got 100, you got 1,000, you got 10,000, you got 100,000, you got 1,000,000, and you put yourself in a situation to whereas you can shine. And at the end of the day, as you shine, you will expand and you'll put yourself in a situation to whereas you can succeed. And that's just the name of that tune. You will always succeed when you put yourself in a position to succeed. Now, if you want to sit back and believe the propaganda and the lies and hope and wish and complain, then you're going to get exactly what you got. Kicked in the ass, amenities taken out of your community, police beating the hell out of you, killing your children, killing you, drugs put in your community, and politicians getting fat off your tax dollars and knowing that they don't have to do anything but give you a free turkey around Thanksgiving, give you ham around Christmas, and give away some Christmas trees and some damn book bags. That's not going to, they're going to give your child a book bag and put them in a school that is underfunded and the teachers don't give a damn about them. That's what we're living through right now. But it's not their fault. I guarantee you it is not their fault. It's our fault. It's our fault. If your children don't know how to wash dishes, it's your fault. If your children don't know how to clean the house, it's your fault. If your child don't know how to read, it's your fault, because it's not the teacher's responsibility to make sure your child can read. He can get in the structure, and then you sit down with your child or your sister, your brother, your niece, your nephew, your grandparents, uncles or aunts or neighbors can help your children. That's what we have to get back into, because that's how we got to the point where Dr. King was able to stand up. If we don't realize, I'm going to show you a video of how powerful you really are. I'm going to show you a video shortly of how powerful you really are. And if you don't believe it, it's not going to happen. You can continue to do this and do that and complain about things that don't mean anything. You can complain, as my buddy Jungle Brother just said, we could complain that Prescott getting paid too much money. Well, you know what? Danny Davis is getting paid too much money. Mayor Johnson is getting paid too much money. Governor Pritzker is getting paid too much money. I forgot the damn senator's name. Dick Durbin is getting paid too much as well. Because if I don't have what I want, they getting paid too much. But we're focusing on Dak Prescott, who literally puts his life on the line for your entertainment. People, if you're a sports fan, you saw this dude literally die twice on the field 2 years ago. He died. He dropped dead on the football field. And you telling somebody who's putting their life up the potential that it wasn't a horrific hit, it wasn't a thunderous hit, it was a basic tackle. And he literally died on the football field. But he getting paid too. He ain't getting paid enough because he ain't won the games that the people who oppress you told you what he should do. No, I'm putting my life on the line. Whatever they paying me is not enough. I don't give a damn if they paying him $1 billion. It's not enough to potentially die. So again, put that same fervor into community exploits. Stop being reactionary and being proactive. You can organize. And when I talk about this situation with the finances, you will be utterly shocked when I talk about the situation with the finances. It is insane how we allow people to disrespect us and we carry their water. We carry their water. I'm telling you, it is insane. We have to stop being reactionary. We must be proactive. The way we have to be proactive is to, or you get angry, you immobilize, you come together. When you come together, you organize, and then you enact your plan. That's it. You don't need, and guess what? We don't need 75 million people. See, we need all the black people will never do that. All people don't ever do anything. But if you can get enough, look, here's an example. If you can get enough, let me finish that statement. If you can get enough, you can get things done. 75% of black people in America did not like Malcolm X when he was still breathing. 65% of the black people in America did not like the great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. when he was breathing. But when he died, you realize how important he was. So if they were able to get the things done with 75% of the population against them and 65% of the population, why do we need, do you see the numbers? 25 and 35% of the population supported them. I'm gonna give you some information a little later, and it's gonna, hopefully it is shocking, and it pushes you into a situation to do something, organize something, have conversations, because the whole thing starts with a conversation. What I want you to do, I'm gonna show you this video and show you how we can no longer wait on things to happen. Here's the video.
They don't Don't knock on my window like that, man. Don't knock on
Why don't you have your seatbelt on?
Don't knock on my window.
Why don't you have your seatbelt on?
Don't knock on my window like that, though.
Like what?
Don't knock on my window like that.
Why you have it up?
Don't knock on my window like that.
Why you have it up? I have to knock to let you know I'm here. Now we can lower it and talk to you.
Just get my ticket, bro, so I can go. I'm finna be late, gang. Do what you gotta do.
Keep it down. Hey! Keep your window down. Hey! Keep your window down.
Don't tell me what.
Keep your window down. I'm gonna get you out of the car. As a matter of fact, get out of the car.
Give me that.
Get out of the car.
Give me that. I'm gonna break that freaking window.
Get out of the car.
I'm finna get out.
Get out of the car right now. We're not playing this game. Get out.
Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. What part of blood are you in this town? Hey, Drew. Hey, Drew. I'm getting arrested, dude. I'm getting arrested. I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting out. Twin.
When we tell you to do something, you do it. You understand? You understand? Not with you, but when we tell you.
Hold on, bro. I just had surgery on my knee. I just had surgery on my knee, bro. I just had surgery on my knee, bro.
I just had surgery in your ears when we
Bro, chill, bro. Chill.
You see that? You see these officers, and then here's the thing. These were not even white officers. They were not black officers. They're brothers from the Latino community. And what they're doing is enacting what they've seen on TV. They are mimicking the oppressor. And we do the same thing. I'm gonna show you a video of I'm gonna show you some black men who they didn't enact those things against Brother Tariq Hill. That is Tariq Hill, a member of the Miami Dolphins football team, and he was being removed from his car for a simple moving violation. Most of us who are driving, we've had moving violations. We've had police officers walk up to us, hand them our license and registrations. He knew what he was. He knew he was running late. He knew he was speeding. They pulled him over. Here's my license, registration, insurance. You don't need to talk to me. I know why you pulled me over. You know why I pulled you over? Yeah, I do. And then and that's how it traditionally goes. This is the whole. It's only a few apples in the barrel. No, it's a bunch of bad apples. It's a bunch of them out there. And see what we need to do. This is one of those things where we get immobilized because all of us are angry right now. This is on our mind. We are worried with us. See, another instance where the police is bothering us. You had a lady in Springfield, Illinois, get murdered by the police about a month ago. Now, Tariq Hill, basic traffic stop, he's getting jumped on. He getting kicked in his back. And you got people who are mimicking what they've seen on TV. You got these Latino men beating up a brother who is, he a little lippy. So what? We've all seen videos of people spitting at cops, swinging on cops, and they don't get that treatment. See, this is not this is not just a black and white thing. It is a black thing. It is most definitely a black thing. The police, and all they have to do is make us look like criminals, and the whole world think we're criminals, and then the whole world approach us and look at us as if we are wrong before we do anything, and you think you are allowed to do that to me or my brother, my sister, my niece, nephew, cousin, aunt, my lady, our children, everybody in my community. You think you can do that? And see, now we get angry and we jump to get upset, and then nothing happens. We get angry, we're mobilized, we come together, have conversations. I was part of a few group texts today where people saying, hey, he shouldn't have said anything. You have the right to have conversations with the police officers. Look, it's hot in Miami. It is humid in Miami. I'm quite sure that's a $300,000 vehicle. Quite sure the AC in there is booming. I'm not finna bake. I'm not going to bake it here. Just give me my citation and go on about your business. Exactly what their brother said. But no, they took it upon themselves because they have very little respect for the people in our community. And we know he a criminal, but and here's the sad part. They knew exactly who it was. When they had the expanded portion of the police video, they called him Mr. Hill. So if you call him Mr. Hill, you know that's Tariq Hill, wide receiver, all pro, all world, wide receiver, National Football League, playing for the team, and he's outside of the stadium, so you know exactly where he's going. But you took it upon yourself to harass him and even got other officers to sign up with you, because that is a lack of respect to our community. We stand around and we argue about these things, but at the end of the day, you're going to see a couple. It's this one sheriff, he on YouTube, he going to come out and explain it away. And you're going to have other people in law enforcement say there are a few bad apples. Why in the hell are all the bad apples bothering black people? Why are they always bothering us? What, we got a bad apple magnet on our back? This is what I'm talking about. We consistently allow people to harass us, get angry, and do nothing else. But hey, I don't like candidate Harris, Vice President Harris, because she locked up 1,649 people and only 49 of them went to jail. They don't tell you that part. Oh, well, she said she wasn't going to do anything for black people. She said, yeah, I'm not going to do anything for black people, because you know when you do something for black people, white people stand up and fight against it. So she has to do something that covers black people. Let's not be stupid. Let's not be stupid. I'm not caping for anybody, but don't be stupid for anyone as well. Let me see what my man ready here. This video, this is a sick video. I understand why. Exactly. I understand. Preach, A-Trap. Thank you, Jungle Brother. Thank you for that. Thank you. But like I'm saying, man, these are the things that I'm talking about. We must stop being reactionary. Do you understand? If we organize, like, here's an example of what I'm talking about. This is what I want our community to even consider. You know, and again, it's what I want you to understand. I'm going to give you numbers at the end of the program so you can understand I'm just not talking. What happens if we see something like this, and the sister in Springfield, Illinois, who was murdered by the road cop, and he got the damn white nationalist tattoo. He shouldn't have been a police officer. But what happens if we immobilize on this thing? We having these conversations. Now we're angry. What if we live in a capitalist society? We live in a capitalist society. We brag that we spend $1 trillion a year. That's where our power lies. If we start focusing on us and start focusing on them, simultaneously things will get fixed. Simultaneously things will get fixed. This is where if you stop saying what's not going to happen and start making things happen, you'll understand what you need to do. How many times does Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland, the young lady in Kentucky, Bolton John in Texas, how many times must this happen before we say enough? Enough. We don't need hundreds of thousands, and we don't need all 60 million of us. We don't need all 60 million of us. I'm going to show you this next video. The next video is heartbreaking. The next video is heartbreaking. Hey, how you doing, Doris? Westinghouse in the building. It's good to see you. Thank you for the support. We don't need everybody to do these things. What we need to do is stop succumbing to the oppressor. Stop turning to the oppressor. This video I'm going to show you now will show you two men who have independent programs, but they're trying to get back on mainstream TV. Why is it that you're making a boatload of money by yourself, but you must add somebody else's hand to the pot? And if you don't understand what I'm saying, I'll explain it after I show you this video.
Two kinds of Negroes. There was that old house Negro and the field Negro. And the house Negro always looked out for his master. He ate better, he dressed better, and he lived in a better house. He lived right up next to his master in the attic or the basement. He ate the same food his master ate and wore his same clothes. And he could talk just like his master. And he loved his master more than his master loved himself. If the master got sick, he'd say, "What's the matter, boss? We sick?" He was as sick as the master. But then you had some field Negroes who lived in huts, had nothing to lose. They wore the worst kind of clothes, they ate the worst food, and they caught hell. They felt the sting of the lash. They hated their master. If the master got sick, they prayed that the master died. If the master's house caught a fire, they prayed for a strong wind to come along. And today you still have house Negroes and field Negroes.
I think the thing is for that minor of a traffic for, okay, he's speeding, and you got to lay him face down.
If they resulted to the point of having to have him face down like that, I think there might have been some exchange back and forth. When an individual is being somewhat volatile towards the law, then they take things in their own hands, because as you get a little loud, what's the first thing they do?
Ocho, in that situation, he's God. He got all the power. He got a gun.
Yeah.
He got a taser.
Yes, sir.
He got a baton.
Yes, sir.
For Tyreek to be laid down, and it looked like, I saw a video, it looked like the guy kneed him in his back. It seemed to me that it was unnecessary that you lay a man down in the street for a traffic violation. But I think what's going to happen, because this was so public, and it is the Miami Dolphins and Stephen Ross and the NFL now, is everybody getting involved. Oh, you're going to come to a quick resolution here.
Every case of police brutality against a Negro follows the same pattern. They attack you, bust you all upside your mouth, and then take you to court and charge you with assault.
You see what I'm saying? He said that man been dead more than 60 years. That man has been dead more than 60 years, and the same rules apply. We continue to talk about these things. We continue to allow these things. And if you look, it might be, you may think, hey man, you going hard on Shaw and Johnson, but I'm not. We saw the police jump on this man. We saw the police drag this man out of his car. We saw them yell and scream and kick him in the knee him in his back. We saw, you didn't see it, but you saw the video's choppy. You saw his face being pressed against the ground for speeding. And they said, could be. Mentioned it could be his fault. He was a little lippy. He didn't say enough to get excoriated. He didn't get enough to get snatched out of his. He didn't say enough to get snatched out of his car. He was no threat to them. They didn't want. You want me to sit up and bake while you standing your behind out in the sun and in the humidity of Miami. That's your business, man. You knew who I was when you pulled me over. You wanted to exercise power. You got the power. Now stand your ass outside and bake while I sit in this AC. You give me my citation, you go head on. Or what most cops would have done, or a lot of cops would have done, they said, look here, man, knock it off. Go head on, man. Get to the game. Because you know he probably on your fantasy team, clown. But look at these dudes. They on TV since the NFL. And Stephen Ross gonna get involved. Since Ross gonna help us, we gonna be okay. But why they ain't help you? Tamir Rice down there in South Florida. Why they ain't help then? Why didn't they help then? Because they're not gonna help. We can look, we can go chapter, book, and verse of all the people. It's 2 football teams in Texas. Why they ain't help? The Texas and the Cowboys. Why Jerry Jones and all the people, they ain't help? Because they don't care. Because kicking you in your head is beneficial to them. Because guess what? They invest in prisons. So if you act a fool, we're going to lock you up, trump up some charges, and then bam. Or we're going to put you in court and make you pay restitution for getting you behind. But this is what I'm talking about, y'all. We continue to let things like this go, and they continue to kick us in our head, and we continue to complain and do nothing. Again, you know 10 people. Have a conversation. I ain't asking you to get 10 people who you agree with, 10 people to have a conversation with, and listen. Don't listen to respond. Listen to understand what that person's point of view and present facts. Don't say, well, I heard, I thought, I feel, because don't nobody care what you heard. Don't nobody care what you think. And we damn sure don't care about what you feel when we getting beat down by the police. No one cares. But we do care about things that you can show me, like the police harassing us on several, over the last 8 to 10 years, since, as a matter of fact, since Barack Obama was elected in 2008. So that's what, 16 years. In the last 16 years, we've seen an exponential jump in police violence against Black people. The Ku Klux Klan is revved up. The Proud Boys are revved up. The Originalists are revved up. Because Black success is a clarion call for white supremacy to step up and try to get rid of it. You got burnt down towns. You got flooded towns. You got lakes all over this country, and it is documented proof. Again, these are not my feelings. This is not how I feel. This is what I know. Every time we rise up, they step down. The only reason they do this is because when we rise up, we don't rise up and go get guns. When we rise up, if me and 25, 30 2,500 people on the west side rolls up and start shopping with each other. We also need to get some guns because they coming. So when they come, like Rosa Parks said, her grandfather used to sit there with the 2 pistols on his lap and the shotgun across his lap and say, if they run up in here, I'm going to kill as many of them as I can. We need to understand they coming and we need to stop it. That's why you hurry up and categorize the Black Panther Party of self-defense, which my late father was a member of. You categorize that as a hate group. But you ain't got the Ku Klux Klan in the same category. They shouldn't be, but you got them in the side of a hate group. And the Ku Klux Klan is the organization of white nationalists. Boy, stop. Thanks, T, man. Think if our people would just read the Willie Lynch letter, if our people read the Willie Lynch letter, it'll wake up a bunch of people. And you know what? How about this, T? And thank you for the support and thank you for being part of the show. How about this, T? If one of these content creators made a movie about the Willie Lynch letter and put it on YouTube, put it on Tubi. They ain't gonna put it on Tubi because newsflash, Fox owns Tubi, but there is an app that's just like Tubi with better content called Mansa, MANSA. It's black owned, black content. It's white content on there too, but it's black owned. When we're giving all that money to Tubi, we need to be giving it to Mansa. If you got a Roku TV, pull it up. If you got a smart TV, pull it up. It's there. If you got a phone, I know you got a phone. Some of y'all got phones. Put it up. It's there. Black phone, we can get it popping. See, this is what I'm saying. We continue to support and finance our oppression. Again, I got another video. It's going to be eye-popping. I know it's going to shock you because when I ran across it, it shocked the entire hell out of me. But it also gave me the ability to say, I'm right. We can do it. It is affirmation. The Creator continues to pour into me, and I pour into you guys every week. I'm telling you, man. That's why I've been doing things. Thank you for the support, Jungle. We continue to kowtow and bootleg and hope and pray. Now, guess what? You pray, you hope for it. That's the dream. You pray, you settling and talking to God, and then you go into action. I hope, man, 2009, I hoped that this was going to happen. 2010, my mother said, do it. Years later, I got up off my lazy black behind and I created this. Guess what? It happens. You're watching me. You are affirmation that if you work hard enough, the dream works for you. And hey, and I want to salute to the people in South Africa that's watching. 2.4% of my audience in South Africa. Thank you. 2.2% of my audience is in Canada. Thank you. I've had over 24,000 people tap in over the last 28 days. Thank you to all 28,000 you. So it is with salute. I lost my mind this week. This episode is brought to you by Style Guys. I picked up a sponsor. The thing is moving. I just need you guys to work with me. Thank you, Jungle Brother. Jungle Brother said Alpha Negroes didn't want to end slavery. There you go. Alpha Negroes didn't want to end slavery. They had to vote for emancipation. They wouldn't if they had to vote for the emancipation, they would. Just like today, non-voters who are high-paying corporate jobs and entertainers. That's exactly what I'm talking about. The Lil Wayne mad, and I'm gonna put a pin in this and attack what Jungle said. Lil Wayne mad because they're not gonna let him perform in New Orleans at the Super Bowl. But then you just say you don't care about black people. Then you just say you a gangbanger, you a rich black man, ain't no racism. Sucks to be you, homie. But back to what I was saying. Thank you, Jungle Boy, for that addition to the show. Thank you, T, for the addition to the show. It's greatly appreciated. Keep them coming, keep it coming. I got time. I usually end in an hour, but if y'all want to keep this conversation going, keep talking. I got time. But these are the things that I'm talking about. We continue to allow things to happen. They are not going to do this. See, the politicians gonna lie and they ain't gonna keep no promises. But let your girlfriend, wife, cousin, sister, mama, daddy lie to you. You will stop speaking to them. You will walk away from them forever. You know what? My mama said she was gonna buy me I almost said Atari, show you how old I am. A video game. I'm mad. I'm finna go in the room that she provides for me, eat the food she gonna cook for me and not talk to her. My sister didn't get me nothing for my birthday. My homeboy Jungle don't even come to my show all the time. I ain't coming to his show and all that dumb stuff. But hey, Danny Davis been in office at least 40 years. I've been seeing the name Danny D right down the street from where I live. I could run top speed and I'm out of shape and not get tired before I get there. And he been there for 40 years. And I don't know a whole lot that he's done. The West Side, as a matter of fact, it looks worse. There used to be this restaurant across the street from his office, a restaurant which was owned by a friend of his. It shut down. See what I'm saying? We are not making them do what they're supposed to do. Therefore, they're not going to do it. Lyndon Johnson didn't wake up and say, you know what? Black people do need to vote. They do. They really do. They need to vote. Let me go ahead and sign this bill. Dr. King and the rest of the people put their foot on his neck because they understood. Dr. King organized that bus boycott. That bus company almost shut down. And guess what? Wait a minute. They're getting out of control. Give them something. And then the Civil Rights Act. Wait a minute. We got that. The Civil Rights Act had nothing to do with love for Black people. They start realizing, I'm going to show you a video too for affirmation of what I'm talking about. They start realizing that they was missing out on, to quote Dust Schultz in the movie Hoodlums. They start realizing they was missing out on nigga pennies. If only white people get sick and we making all this money, what if we start letting Black people come here? Bam. Well, wait a minute. You mean to tell me we can? As a matter of fact, I'm not gonna keep talking. I'm gonna show you this video, and then I'll be back. It's like a 6-minute video. It is a video that is 4 minutes. It's 4 minutes long. Pay attention to this, and I'll be right back.
Black people love Cadillacs. For African Americans, Cadillacs were not just a popular brand, but they became a symbol of success and pride. And as it turns out, Cadillacs didn't become a fan favorite of African Americans by accident. During the beginning of the 20th century, cars began to enter the American landscape. During that period, car makers started to pop up all over the place. In 1903 alone, 57 companies were established, but shortly thereafter, 27 of them went bankrupt. Cadillac, though, is one of the oldest and longest surviving brands in automotive history, having entered the market as General Motors' luxury brand in 1903. The brand was almost an immediate success and quickly developed a reputation for excellence in the automotive community because of their design and engineering. And of course, they didn't sell to Black people. Cadillac was General Motors' top of the line and most expensive product, but the company had an unwritten rule of not selling its cars to Black customers. But the Great Depression started to devastate the automotive market. Luxury manufacturers such as Cadillac faced a substantial decline in sales. In 1928, General Motors produced 1,700,000 vehicles, with 41,000 of them being Cadillacs. But by 1933, the production had dropped to just 780,000 vehicles, with only 7,000 of them being Cadillacs. That is the decline of 84%. And as the economy began to downturn, so did affluent white consumers. GM's executive committee would gather together in a meeting to make a decision on the future of the Cadillac division, who was losing so much money that they had plans to close the division down. Unexpectedly, Nicholas Drysdale, who was uninvited and in charge of GM service department nationwide, knocked on the door and asked if he could just be heard for 10 minutes. The executive committee granted his request. Drysdale stated that he had a plan to make Cadillac profitable in 18 months. While traveling around the country and visiting different service departments, he had observed a significant number of African Americans in the service department at Cadillac dealership. They were members of the small African American elite, boxers, entertainers, lawyers, doctors, ministers, but they were not allowed to buy a new car in the showroom. Drysdale found out that Blacks were paying white frontmen $300 to purchase the cars for them. He asked the question, why should these men get several $100s to profit that should go to General Motors? So he proposed a radical idea to target the African-American elite by marketing a special Cadillac for them. He believed that it would be an important step towards Cadillac becoming a profitable business. By targeting the African-American elite, he could increase their presence in the luxury market and build a relationship with a new customer base. Drysdale urged the executive committee to go after the African-American market, or at least allow them to come into the showroom. GM would accept Drysdale's suggestion, and he would play a major role in the increased sales of Cadillac during the 1930s. While the Great Depression was still in full swing, in 1934, Cadillac sales rose 70%, leading to GM to sell enough vehicles to make the Cadillac division break even that year. Furthermore, from 1933 to 1941, sales increased from 6,000 units to 66,000 units. That is an increase of almost tenfold. So on June 10th of 1934, Drysdale was promoted to general manager of the Cadillac division. Now, Dreyfus' initiative ending their racist sales policy in the 1930s apparently did not carry over to Cadillac's marketing division. The division wanted dealers to stop turning away Black customers, but it did very little to actually attract them. With the resurgence of the economy in the post-World War II era, Cadillac's print and television advertisements during that period continued to define excellence as white. This exclusionary advertising would extend all the way to the 1970s, with Cadillac portraying a world of glamour and excellence that only comprised of white people. But Cadillac wasn't the only one, because most automotive manufacturers during that time had advertisements that were completely white during the same time period. Additionally, individual car dealers maintained a significant degree of control over their showroom. According to renowned automotive journalist Warren Brown, his mother was unsuccessful in her attempt to purchase a new Cadillac from a dealership in New Orleans in the 1960s. However, she would ultimately be able to acquire her desired car, a 1965 Coupe de Ville, from a white man in a different location. Cadillac's diversity in marketing division served as a model for other divisions of General Motors and other automotive companies. This trend was primarily motivated by money more than morality. So that's how Cadillac became the first luxury car brand to intentionally market to Black consumers. And in this case, Cadillac's acknowledgement literally saved them from bankruptcy.
Thank you for tuning in. This is the End of the Bench Media. Building the Story is the name of the program. This episode is called The Truth. This was brought to you by Style Guard. Everybody wants fashion, but not everybody has style. Thank you for tuning in. As I stated before I went on the break, I showed you that video. They're not doing these things out of morality. They're doing it because your money saves their asses all the time. All the time. You keep saying what we can't do. You just saw video of what we have done. That is one of the biggest luxury brands in America today to this very day. And if we could save them in the midst of the Great Depression, we're not in the midst of the Great Depression. Now, what happens? What happens if we start focusing on us? As you saw at the beginning of the show, you see the brother Stokely Carmichael said, well, at one point you'll see it at the end of the show. At one point, we start worrying about them, and now we need to worry about us. And that's what we need to do. We need to worry about us, Black folks. Let's start worrying about us. Because if we worry about us, we ain't got no problem. Oh, man. And then, again, here come that naysayer. It'll never happen, right? It sounds good, but it ain't never gonna happen. It's like we disrespect our children. Oh, look at these ignorant ass children. But we got millions upon millions of children doing the right thing. You're gonna focus on the 8, 9, 10, 15 of them that's acting a fool. That's your fault. And if they're acting a fool, look, at some point, we gonna have to stop listening to other people. You're gonna have a criminal element no matter what happens. That's just what it is. But what you're gonna have sheep that go astray. It is your job as the shepherd of your house, your family, and your community to pull that sheep back in. That's just the way it works. And then you need to create a universe in which you win. Again, this is the part. This is literally the portion of the program I've been waiting on. This is a potential plan. You can enact it if you like. But don't ever say you didn't have, I don't know what to do. This is what you can do. How about this? Every time the police murder, hurt, stab, shoot, unnecessarily arrest somebody and it goes to national news, why don't we as a community? Let me put that in pause. I want you to understand that about 50 to 60 million people who look like us on this earth who are living the same lives like us, like 45 to 50% of 45 to 60 million people. The reason I dropped it down to 45 because I'm checking my math. Now, some of us are affluent. That is the 1% of us are affluent. So that's 59 to 45 million people. Now, with those 59 to 45% of the population, people always say, well, Black people ain't gonna do. I don't need Black people to do anything. I need righteous people from my community who get their behinds up. They don't want their children hurt. They want their children have the best possible life. the best possible education, and the best possible future. They want them and their significant other to live in peace and not in the midst of oppression, segregation, oppression, discrimination, and poverty. That's what you really want. So, get this. Let's just say 8 to 10% of the population, which is about 5 million people. 5 million people. It's not a lot, but break it down into increments throughout the entire country. You saw what we did for Cadillac. Now, just imagine this. We saw our brother Tyreek Hill. He got accosted. What if you just said, we ain't participating in something as simple as Halloween? The average American today, if he participates in Halloween, he spend about, you got children, and if you and your family participate, you're spending at a minimum $200. What if we said, you know what? I'm not going to participate in these holidays anymore. They'll lose about $1 million. They'll lose about $100 million. They'll lose about $100 million. That ain't not the age, man. But look, extrapolate that to the rest of the year. If nothing happens by Thanksgiving, what we do is we just don't participate in Thanksgiving. Now, all the extra stuff that we traditionally buy for Thanksgiving, we just start buying groceries throughout the year, and then we invite our family. We change it to something else. We're not participating in Thanksgiving. Bam. Sports fans, you saw what happened to your brother Tyreek Hill. I'm not going to even ask you to not watch football. What I'm going to ask you to do is just about every community in America has a sports bar that's owned by somebody that looks like us. If you don't, again, this goes back to the 10-friend theory. Everybody got 10 friends. Don't you ever watch another football game alone again. You get 10 or 50, depending on your house size, 10 to 15 people to watch with you. Y'all make some food, bring a dish over. Everybody brings something to eat, and you watch the football games together as a group. Turn your TV off, turn your damn phone off, watch the game, and that's it. We ain't watching no more Red Zone. We're going to watch a football game like we used to do 35, 40, 50 years ago. And then if we watch the Red Zone, there's only one house watching the Red Zone. Pick a house, pick one house, everybody pile up on there. You give him the money for the NFL package, and now you got the Red Zone, all that on one TV. Now, instead of 70 TVs watching, you got 7 TVs watching. You do that nationwide, it drops their viewership. They're wondering why at that point. They'll do anything by Christmas. If nothing happens by Christmas, we don't participate in Christmas. And guess what we do for the new year? What we do for the new year is this. The new year is this. I got my cousin Chris. His birthday is in January. We're going to celebrate Chris' birthday as a family. We're going to take all our family members whose birthdays in January. We're going to have one dinner and celebrate him. We're going to go to black vendors. And all of us who are celebrating his birthday at this dinner, we're going to give him a gift from a black vendor. February, my man, Ann, Keish, Curtis, Terry, Dre, that's my family right there. We're going to have a dinner for them. We're going to do the same thing. March, my Uncle Richard. April, my sister Phyllis. May, my sister Theodora. My sister Phyllis and my cousin Christian's birthday on the same day. May, my sister Theodora. June, my Aunt Rita. My grandmother's birthday, my Uncle Theo. Their birthday is in June. I think my Aunt Judy's birthday is in June as well. We celebrate them. July, that's what my grandmother's birthday. July, my father and my brother's birthday. August is my birthday, my grandfather's birthday. September, my son's birthday. Yesterday, happy birthday, BJ. My cousin Andre, my brother Wanda, their birthdays are within 3 to 5 days. And my niece Courtney, my nephew Anthony, Julian, his birthday, and Philip's birthday is in March. But y'all get the point. We celebrate our families. We create that family unit. Now we have a reason to come together to re-cement the community, re-cement the family, put ourselves in better situations. Guess what? Your pocket's going to be fatter because you ain't spending $12, $15, $2,000 on Beats by Dre or a new TV or some shoes that you don't need. We're going to come together and we're going to shop with each other. And then we're going to have a family-oriented situation every time somebody's birthday. Excluding their situations. You saw what it would have done to Cadillac. This is what I want you to understand. 50 to 60 million people. That is 8% at 5 million people. 5 million people. If we did that, that'd be $7.5 million a month. That is $90 million a year. And if we do it in other instances, you talk about probably $250 million a year. Do you really think corporate America? They lie to you and say we lost. If they made 50 million this year and they project 65 million in next year, if they make 55, they say they lost 10 million. They lost $10 million. Do you really think they want to lose $250 million? No, they don't. They do not. This is how you get together, and then you take that same money and you back a politician that you know has your interests, and then you stand on his head, and then you get things done in your community. All of a sudden, there's more lights in your community. There's more trash receptacles in your community. School, after school funding, before school funding in general. Now you're buying property. Now the tax bracket, the tax base is raised. Now things are getting funded. Now you can open up a grocery store, so forth and so on. You think that you can't do it because you haven't tried. You don't try because you have people telling you it can't happen. It can't happen because you can't dream it. If you don't dream it, it won't happen. And this is why we are in the situation we are in now. Do you believe that people who are trying to get emancipated in the 1800s didn't dream? They had no reason to believe that this would happen one day, but they knew it would. If you believe it's not going to happen, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Stop allowing your oppressor to determine what your future is. That's his job, to beat the hope out of you. And he has successfully done it since 1968 at the death of the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And it's time to stop that now. Dream big, and dream often. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. It is important that you do so. Please bring somebody every week. Hit that like, hit that share, tell a friend and tell a friend. And if you're really feeling generous, do that. Use that cash out. I don't care if you send me $1. If you can, send me a dime. But hey, send what you can. Support the movement. I am HRB. I'm about to check out. And you know what? Do yourself a favor. Close the show out this song every week. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this intro. I'm going to do this additional exit. And then I want you to listen to the song. 2 fingers, 1 word. I'm H-Rap, and I'm.
It's not hate to say that we were kidnapped and brought here. It's true. It's not hate to say that we were Jim Crow, discriminated and segregated.
Our problem has been, as black people, we've always been concerned about white America, never about us. And what we've always thought is that white America equal the same interest as us. That is not true. We must now be concerned.
I can't be a pessimist because I'm alive. To be a pessimist means that you have agreed that human life is an academic matter. So I'm forced to be an optimist. I'm forced to believe that we can survive whatever we must survive.
I might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary.
Tuned in to the End of the Bench media that's bold, black, and beautiful.
We lust for that cheese, we lose sleep, dreams of that cream. We killing our teens, they dying for this American dream. Them government schemes, they turning us to hustlers and fiends. We hustling trees, them politicians smuggling green. Chasing that cheese, got everybody stressed in the streets. Pardon me for speaking freely, let it breathe. Evangelists preach the congregations out of their seats. They writing them checks for tithes, now as people can't eat. She stripping for change for school, now she giving them brains. She used to that loot, she earning, now she giving them strain. He new to this game, but hungry, so he cooking his cane. He getting that paper, but then they gave him 2 to the brain. It's rules to this game, but hustlers never hustle for fame. The spirit of greed is grimy, so we struggle to change. They put us in chains to take away our African names. But if we submissive and don't resist, then who do we blame? It's all a game, man. These Europeans staking they claim. And you a victim of their game plan. You thinking they ain't, you thinking they saints. Remember all them niggas they hang? Killed our women and our children, all our leaders is slain. They gave us Obama, but that nigga was hoping for change. But Zimmerman is killing niggas and he free. Shit is crazy, babies having these babies and getting checked. But keep the child from they pop to rip his heart out his chest. Our rappers was leaders and now they in the booth and the dress. Spitting bullshit and making more but giving us less. They taking our sound and changing ours, dumbing it down. They taking our jobs and homes and they shutting us out. They taking our kids because it ain't a man in the house. They locking us down, but soon they gon' be wiping us out. They told our women they was too independent to need a man. They told our brother he was too insignificant to advance. It's all a game, man. These Europeans staking they claim, and you a victim of their game plan. You thinking they ain't? You thinking they saints? Remember all them niggas they hang? Killed our women and our children. All our leaders is slain. It's all a game.